Hi, it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. I want to talk about heaven, okay? And these things are, these truths about heaven and the kingdom of heaven coming to earth are just so new and magnificent. We are, as Christ returns within, okay, to establish his kingdom, we're learning such new things, yet they're established and built on from what we've learned from in the past. Okay, it's that journey out of the pit. You've been crawling up the ladder, but now you slide. It's like a little manhole. You're sliding through and you're going up out of it, and you're starting to enter into a new reality. Okay, and that new reality is heaven, but it's happening here. And that's what I was talking about. As you start to come out, the same thing is like you're coming out of the grave. You've been groping around in there, and now you're starting to come out, and you're starting to see the light, and it's new, and it's a new way of acting and being, but it's coming from within you, and it's starting to manifest in your physical reality, and it's starting to create this heaven on earth because it's bringing in the very Spirit of God here. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And heaven is loving perfectly. Okay, when we think of being in perfection, abiding with the Spirit of God, being a part of that Spirit of God, that's what we're doing, is that we're loving perfectly. Because when you love perfectly, you're abiding in perfect love. And because the only way you can do that is if the love of God is in you. And that's where it comes from, is that truth and that love. Okay? And then once you have that perfect love, then you can give it out. What I think some people do in a lack of understanding is they think heaven is kind of like, well, I've suffered in this earth and I made these sacrifices and I follow these religious protocols. Now I get to go to heaven where I'll get all these great rewards. Their view of heaven is somehow all this gathering to myself. I'll have all this great stuff, this great life, all will be good. The mindset is this gathering, okay? That's the mindset of death. When you start transforming, okay, and really understanding to be with Christ in the heavenlies, you're coming to where you are a light. You are shining outward. That means your desire, and the thing that shines outward, the light, is full of perfect love, okay, which is the reflection of the fullness of the character of God. That's what it looks like. It comes out in that perfect love. So heaven is really about loving others perfectly. Because when you have that existence, if everyone was loving each other perfectly, can you imagine what that would be like? We can't even begin to imagine. You know why? Because we're in so much death, and even our view of love is so tainted. But that's what it is. So if you don't, and that's a very outward thing. Do you see? It's like the light shines outward, the love flows outward. It's like when your desire is to love perfectly, you are coming to the right spiritual maturity to where you're even beginning to understand the concepts and the ways of God, thus the dwelling place of God, heaven. Now this is, so people that don't understand that, but they're still in darkness, when they see heaven, that's how they see it, as this place where, okay, great, I die and then I get all this great stuff because I did all the right things. And that's when they get frustrated that if they think someone who is far more evil than them by their judgments, that if somehow they get to go to heaven and get all that stuff, that doesn't seem fair to them. But if you understand, but you have to understand, that's all that mindset of death and of darkness, because what you would desire is that that evil person that was much more evil than you by your judgment would love perfectly. And if that soul, I don't care what they did, if that's the point they came to where they are now loving perfectly for eternity, would that not be the perfect redemption? Where they caused so much pain, yet now for eternity they're creating so much good because they're loving perfectly. Okay, so that's what this is about. And so if you have that mindset that somehow you're frustrated because you think, when God saves everyone, or people that believe that somehow you're frustrated because they're getting things that you're going to be getting and you don't think that's fair, your mind is still bound in the pit. It's still bound in the lies. Okay? Because what you realize is that we all need to be saved. We all need to be redeemed. And if one of us, no matter how much, was going off, that would cause a huge harmful ripple effect to everyone. Okay? And for everyone to be saved, for everyone to be out of death, for death to be destroyed, what that means is that everyone will be loving perfectly. I don't care what their past is. It's like everyone has had this massive disease and it manifested in many, many different ways. Some people seem to have very serious cases of it. Others seem to have less. But the point is, everybody had the disease. So now you have the remedy for it. And now all those, no matter what that disease looked like, they're now healed. Okay? And so that's exactly what Christ is doing. That's what it means for death to be destroyed. All that sin, all that corruption, none of that is going to exist. And instead, it's going to be this perfect love. And this is what it really means. This is what the commandments are about. To love your neighbor as yourself is to, you desire for yourself that you would love perfectly. And you desire that they also would have that. Because you know that when they are able to love perfectly, they are abiding in that perfect love. Okay, so you want to love them perfectly, and you desire that they do that too, because that is their greatest fulfillment. And once you've abided in that divine love, you understand how beautiful and powerful and perfect it really is, and how desirable it is. You want to be there all the time. You want it to consume you, because it is so glorious and it is freeing and is full of so much deliverance and healing and abundance. You desire that for everyone, okay? Because you're also seeing in that perfect love how without God, none of us could even get near it, because it's that perfect. It's that point of perfection. But that's exactly what he's moving us into, because once you start moving into that light, once that light starts to consume you, it seems like in the blackness, when you're all in death, it seems like such a small point of light. But as you start to go through that light, shedding everything, that's what you have to do to go get into, is let everything of your life that's of corruption fall away, so you can move into that perfect light. It's that righteousness of God. And when you move into that, then you start realizing a whole world opens up, because your desires become God. That means you live by your desires. You do what you want to do. You have immense joy. You don't have anything binding you. You don't have any afflictions, addictions, bondage, fears. I mean, these things imprison us. Imprison us. When you move into that perfect light, you're free of all of that. So you just get this abundant freedom and liberty in your life. Okay, so this concept of loving others, okay, with this perfect love, we have not seen that. in this earth. And because it hasn't been here. Remember, I said this is what has been brought in, is that perfect love in these days. And that's why the understanding increases, because it's being knit to the truth and the wisdom by that Holy Spirit. It's all coming together. It's enlightening our eyes. It's changing our realities. It's changing how we're able to act and to see other people. And it is all about a flowing out from yourself, and instead of this gathering. Okay, these are different, totally different mindsets, whether you're in the light or you're in death. Okay, so if you feel like, you're upset because if all are saved, somehow justice wasn't served because people are getting the good stuff that you're getting, your mindset is still focused and you're looking at it all from a point of death. Okay, you are, because that is a totally opposite of what Christ is doing. So seek to see from the right perspective, okay, yourself and other people in this world and what he's doing, because that's what it's about. And that's what heaven is about. It's about loving others perfectly. Because when you have the abundance of love in you, you have the abundance. So now it can just flow out. So that is what you desire, because love just desires to give. It's like, this is how God is with us. He has all this love. He wants that love to flow into us. We have to be receptacles that can receive it. And that's what this whole transformation process has been around, preparing us to receive such an amazing, pure, holy, honoring love that may flow through us, transform our reality into his, and flow into other people's lives and into their realities and change theirs. Till next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.